Alrighty, hello, and welcome back everybody to the stream. Gonna make sure everything's going alright on the audio side of things here. Sounds alright. Yeah. Should be good to go. Anyways, yeah, we're back to play The Walking Dead Season 2. We are on the final episode, and I hope y'all are ready for a yap session, because after I beat this episode, I'm probably gonna go quite a bit in detail of all the cut content, because, like I said, there's quite a bit of cut content, but episode 5 definitely has a lot. One of the biggest ones is actually something that was in the game on a certain version if you played it on the PS3, which is really strange because it was on the PS3 for about an hour, a couple hours, maybe a day. I'm not 100% sure, it's been years, but I know the PS3 edition had a certain option in this that was honestly a pretty big decision, or a big choice to make, and they just scrapped it on every other version. And they must have forgot that it was in the PS3 edition. And they, yeah. They basically, patched it out in an update all them years ago. But, I know people on PC, data miners and all that shit, they have recreated a lot of cut content. Not gonna spoil it, but, you know, this episode gets pretty fucking crazy. Goes really fast, so don't worry. I will explain it all after we are done with this episode, so it's not a spoiler. We got here a little chat on Twitch from 3 Watches. Yo chat, is this guy bad or is it just me? Fuck! He's right. Ranked Walking Dead. I'm always a failure. I've been in the bronze ranks for ranked Walking Dead's story-based gameplay. Oh yeah, now we get to see who all dies in the gunfight with the Russians. Who's ready for that, huh? Can you all guess? I bet you guys can't guess. JK, I love you. I love you too. I love you very much. Maybe I love you just a little too excessively. I may or may not have a shrine dedicated to 3 Watches. Alright, Mike is hit. As we can see, Arvo's sister is dead. I forget this dude's name. Also, side note, these motherfuckers switch guns. That Russian guy had an AK in the previous episode, and now this guy has his AK, and this guy's got the shotgun. Really strange. And of course, Rebecca is also dead because, she was a zombie. Had to shoot her before she ate her baby. Realistically, Clementine would go after the baby, I think.
Shit. I didn't even see him out there. Good work, Clem. Shit. Okay, we gotta do something, y'all. Get down here. Can't just sit here and let this guy take pot shots at us until he runs out of ammo.
I mean, we could do that.
Talking about it and do it.
That would be a decent option.
All right. Don't have to get any worse than it already is. You can just go.
English, motherfucker!
If I could just get over to that side of the wall.
No.
Hey, it'll give him something to think about. Just long enough for me to make it over.
I'll try.
Yeah? Okay. Good. Good. I just need the distraction. Okay? Alright, on my go. Go. Hey! What are you?
Luke, no! Should have stayed down.
Yeah, I know. God, he got me in the leg, but he went straight through. Shit, I don't know. I'm gonna be fine. I think I'm gonna be fine. Отпусти меня! You get out here! Or I put a bullet in this kid's hand! Shut up! Отпусти меня, прошу! Я должен быть с ней! I said shut up!
Kenny, what are you doing?
I'm ending this.
The only good fucking thing anybody has done in this group. This is what Kenny's doing.
Think I'm bluffing? Get out here! Отпусти меня! Я должен посмотреть, если здесь все в порядке. Stop squirming, damn it!
Yeah, fuck you, Arville. She was a zombie. This is what pisses me off. He gets so upset with us about quote-unquote killing his sister, but she was a zombie. Also, it's your fault that this gunfight happened. Oh yeah, and Jane's back, by the way. Out of nowhere. So we got another chat on YouTube. Just this scene alone shows you how little the writers for episode 5 paid attention to detail. Exactly. Yeah. Somehow Vitali and Biriko... Oh, okay, so that's their names. Biriko switched guns between episodes. I was just saying that. I mean, maybe it was like off-screen, they both dropped their guns, and then they both went for each other's guns, but it's just... Yeah. You can definitely tell that there is a lot of shit done very last minute with this episode.
That was intense.
Probably because there was a lot, like, this is, I think, where a lot of cut content comes from. Okay, I gotta take care of this cat. Hold on. He's all over the place.
Yeah, I figured. I didn't know this man. I never killed someone that didn't wrong me in some way, that didn't deserve it. Tried to pretend he was a walker. But it's different. I didn't think it would be.
He deserved it. He was trying to kill us.
Yeah, that's why I did it, but it felt wrong.
Alright. Smoked him? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we smoked him. Get out of here, Jane. I don't ever want to see you again. You're an asshole. I hate you. I hate you for what you do in this episode. You fucking...
Sort of wish that was true.
Alright,
Let's go.
Also, another detail, Biriko fired first with everyone out in the open, and no one is even hurt. Yeah, dude, they have some stormtrooper aim right here. I mean, I guess technically there are people that are hurt. Mike and Luke get shot, but nobody dies. But that's not saying much, because,
She turned. Just like
this episode is a fucking wild one.
Don't you go blaming yourself, Kenny. You did what you had to protect the boy.
she just lost too much blood. Ain't nobody's fault. You know, we could have done better by her.
She was just too far gone.
She's with Alvin now.
Yeah, she is. Take care of your boy. You rest easy.
I don't know about all of us.
You piece of shit!
Hey, hey!
Stop! Guys, get off me!
Let him beat his ass.
He ain't a threat to us.
How can you say that? Of course he is! Get out of the way!
Whoa! What are you doing?
Yeah, get out of the way, Mike.
Asshole tried to do to us!
Move out of the way, Mike.
Clem, you don't mean that.
I mean that. I meant it back then, and I meant it even more now.
Bullshit!
God damn it, I hate Arvo so much.
It's true. We have places.
I can't believe people are like so like, this episode is so contrived, man. Everything in this episode is so contrived, too. I mean, I get it. You know, last-minute rewrites are hard to do.
To see what people did. Then close your eyes and I'll make it quick.
But Jesus, man.
Back off.
If he's telling the truth, it could save
He is lying.
He's lying.
He's lying. We can't trust him. Fuck Arvo. I hate this guy so much.
Trust him, don't trust
But
him.
it's insane to me how this episode tries to make Kenny like this bad guy the whole time when he's like the only one that's doing real smart shit in an apocalypse, right? Everybody's like, "Oh no, Kenny, don't hurt Arvo.
Lay off, Kenny. She just helped us.
Don't hurt Arvo, you know. He's just a kid, you know, a kid who tried to get everybody killed."
About the baby, Kenny.
I'm not going to go into it
Their supply
cuz we will see in this episode. I don't want to spoil things, but this fucker deserves
Take a chance.
every beating that Kenny gives him.
Plan?
I will try to find ways that will entice Kenny to beat this guy just so it can happen. I hate this character so much.
Yeah, I got something.
This would have been a better spot to get rid of Bonnie. She doesn't contribute anything else to the story at this point. That is true. I really thought that, you know, Bonnie or Mike would get it here, but it's just strange. Yeah, it's just strange the choices that they made in this, like, finalized version. Because what we could have had would have been much better.
Look, I know you're probably pissed about me leaving. When I heard the gunshots,
They should have used Eddie instead of Arvo and Nate's group instead of the Russians. Exactly. That's what I was just saying
Good.
in the last episode. And I thought this way back in the day, too, that Eddie would have a huge significance in episode 4 and 5.
Everything I've been through.
We needed you, but you left.
Like,
How do I know it won't happen again?
my
Or
theory
not.
is that, you know,
Wanna try and make this
I always had a theory, like a feeling that Eddie was going to have more importance into this season.
promise
And
you
clearly,
I'll
I
be
mean,
you again.
they wanted to do something more with Eddie. He's in one of the fucking pictures for it.
No, I
One of the
promise you.
chapters here. But they never do anything
You
with
don't gotta
Eddie.
point the gun at him the whole
Not in
time.
this season, at least, but it would have been much more interesting if we had something like, you know,
Your arm all sore.
Eddie shows, like, if this whole thing, this whole gunfight that happened was with, like, the 400 Days characters and Eddie and Carver's camp, you know, it would have been so much more interesting, I think.
We've lost.
So this is you making it work? You don't have to constantly be criticizing him.
Not. I'm pointing
Because the
out
player would have been more
there's a
inclined to
potential.
empathize with Eddie. Yeah, exactly. That would have been interesting, but
You're the only one
you
he
know,
trusts, that he really trusts.
that's too much to ask
You're the one
from
who's gonna
Telltale.
pull him back.
I can't give him too much fault. It's really not the developer's fault. It was all management,
We're all counting on you.
from what we know now.
It might be too late.
I'm afraid of that too.
Arvo is a stranger and people don't try to understand his position.
At least
The
then, for
players
sure.
would have understood Eddie was with bad people against his will, just like Arvo was. But because Arvo is a stranger, people don't attempt to understand that point. I feel like people kind of can understand it, because when I first played this game, my first playthrough way back when, I tried to kind of sympathize with Arvo. Like, I kind of thought that Kenny was doing a little too much to him. But, I mean, when you really get down to it, how do I say this without spoiling the rest of the episode? I'll just say, like, I mean, Arvo knows what he's doing. He's manipulating
Wait up!
people.
Wait, we need to stop.
No, I'm fine. Okay, I just
And,
sorry, I just put more weight on it than I should have.
regardless of what you do, I mean, this is also partly due to your choices
Hey,
not having as much weight in this last 2 episodes here.
something. You fucking listen. You understand?
Penny, come on.
You know, Arvo does very, very ruthless, heinous things to a very beloved character. Regardless of how he's treated.
Talking to you.
He deserves it.
Stop.
He deserves
Yeah,
it.
Stop.
He deserves it.
He deserves to be treated like a human being. That's all I'm saying.
After what he did, what happened back there was his fault.
He lost all his people in one fell swoop. Ain't much we could do to him that'd be worse than that.
See, that's true.
Kenny, please, ease up on him.
That,
Fucking stay.
that'll be one thing I'll say is, like, yeah, maybe the excessive beatdowns by Kenny
He doesn't have to treat him.
are just that. They're quite excessive. Maybe not necessary
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. Go on and talk to him.
But,
I got him if I need anything.
Okay.
I don't know.
Here.
Personally, I wish Kenny would have just killed Arvo right there, and then the story would change direction into going to the city that was teased throughout the whole last episode.
What is it with you guys?
What do you mean?
Every man I've known is always trying to
This is another point when you don't give a person a chance to make good choices, they inevitably make bad ones. That's a good point.
alpha male horse shit.
But in the same token, though,
Same way.
But don't look at me. I ain't that guy.
Oh, that ain't true. You get in your fair share of pissing matches too.
Do I?
Are you kidding me? Yes.
Guess I should work on it.
I've noticed that too. I don't know why it has to be that way.
it's hard for me to explain it without spoiling what happens at this episode.
Just a matter of time before
So I
the
won't.
challenge
I'll
is
stay
over.
vague until we get to that point. But I definitely will be talking more on that after this episode ends, and obviously going into the rest of the cut content.
Took a woman to talk some
But
sense into him. Looks like Jane broke it up.
Keep pressure on it, okay? I'm gonna go fetch some bandages.
shooting Clementine is also another very flawed scene.
Hey, Bonnie.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah?
That's kind of where I was going with it. Basically, is like it just.
For what?
No matter what you do, Arvo is a asshole to you.
I'll be right back.
Like, even if you defend him, and you don't steal from him, you go out of your way to help him.
You look like crap.
The choices they give Clem don't make
Don't make me
sense.
laugh, all right?
Yeah, I would say, like, the only choice this episode that really holds weight is, well, the last final primary choice in this episode that kind of determines your endings. Other than that, though, I mean, even those don't hold that much weight because, I don't know, Season 3 butchered those.
What do you mean?
Sitting in the snow, leaned up against a tree, bullet in my leg. But alive. And so many of my
First
friends-
off is putting your gun down. Why would you choose to do this when you're being robbed of everything, and why would Arvo think you would do this? Yeah,
Everyone we said.
yeah, it's...
Gone. Nick, Pete, Alvin and Becca, Carlos, Sarah. And for what?
They didn't die in vain.
I wish I could believe that. I could have done more, and that ain't up for debate. I know it in my bones. And I gotta listen.
You know another thing too, like, I mean, okay,
Right?
this is...
It should work.
It's both the reason why I like this season, but it's also the biggest flaw of this season,
What'd I miss?
is just how the characters are handled here.
Nothing much. You know, complaining mostly.
Just...
I was just mentioning how cold it is lately.
Yeah. Good thing he got that cool jacket, huh?
I guess we're gonna get to this pretty soon, so I won't talk too much of it.
Soap and water.
But a lot of these characters
Fine.
could have been done, like, a lot more properly
Hey, Clem,
in this
go over
episode.
and see if you can change the bandages on Kenny's wound. I offered, but I don't think he was
The
coming.
correct option is shooting, and the game doesn't let you.
But you know him better than I do. Maybe he'll let
Oh
you
yeah,
do
let's go
it.
look at Kenny's eye.
Okay.
Hey, to-
Gouged out eyeball. See, that's the thing. That's kind of what I was talking about at the start of this.
It's
And
clean.
I will definitely get more into that after this episode is done. I'd like to show that in the stream here, but originally, on one of the versions of the game, you actually did have the option of shooting back,
You can do it.
which also really makes a lot more sense as to why Arvo would do what he does.
I was thinking we go with Alvin Jr.
If you do go with the option of shooting, because then Arvo would freak out and, you know,
was a boy.
retaliate.
I mean, Rebecca was so
Oh yeah, this is where AJ gets his name.
Yeah, that's pretty creative.
It ain't about being clever. It's about honoring a good man and giving the boy someone to look up to. Alvin Jr. it is. Do you like
It is. It is a good name.
I think AJ approves. What do you got there? Because I think I'm all right. I mentioned it earlier to Bonnie.
Can I change your bandages?
You shouldn't have to do stuff like this.
Shouldn't have to do a lot of things.
All right.
It's just bad writing when you give a player two options, or bad decisions in terms of robbery/standoff. Yeah. Like, it's hard to say, like... I mean, it is very obviously, like, bad writing, but also, like, it does kind of fit into the season of things just never working out the way you want them to.
I still gonna be
so sorry, Kenny.
That bad, huh?
But at the same time,
Apologize.
you know, I can't really fault the developers too much. Like, I could complain about them, but it's really, at the end of the day, it's not their fault. After, like, you know, after everything we know about Telltale now, like, back then it was easy to be like, oh, well, they're not giving a shit. But, like, realistically, the developers, they did give a shit about making a good-ass story. And Season 1 is
It might sting a
a
little.
very clear indication of that, because they had a foundation that they stuck with. There is cut content in Season 1, but not nearly as much, and they didn't change the overall story. Season 2 had a lot of, you know, management problems and time crunches and shit, so it makes sense that the product doesn't come... It comes out half-baked, kind of what it should have been. I'd say the smartest thing Clem can do in that scene is call for Jane and Kenny, and it's the same result. That's true, it is.
I'm going to expect you to be more of a gentleman than I am.
He can hear a few bad
It
words.
is,
I've heard plenty.
it does do the same result.
That shouldn't have been the case. You were right about
At the same time, though, when I first played that, I honestly thought that it would be better just to not yell for them right away, because, you know, I was worried that,
Should have saved
you know,
him sooner.
something bad would happen. And it does. It does.
I'm going to think about that.
But we're going to get to that pretty soon, and I'll definitely go more in depth with that.
Alvin should be here, raising this boy.
Carver's the one who did it, not you.
Yeah, I suppose. But I can't help but feel...
And I do really like Kenny's character in this season, especially now, because this is like the episode that kind of, well, depending on who you talk to, would be Kenny's descent into, like, insanity, madness. But despite that,
All done.
it's like,
Yep.
he's just honestly, like, I don't know. Despite how bad writing, how much bad writing there is
Let's head
in
out.
Season 2, I feel like Kenny is still, like, the best written character in this season. He seems the most realistic to me. And I'm not saying the others are bad. I think Luke is another great one too, but it's just... They could have done so much more with these characters. Especially Luke. I would have loved to see more of Luke being fleshed out, because they were going for that.
What? It's what?
What do you mean, what? The place you're fucking taking us.
Arvo, we're not trying to be mean to you. We just want to know if this is where the supplies are.
Is this the place you're taking us? Are the supplies here?
No, it's at the house. It's still more walk. Some more hours.
Kenny has only been descending, but the sad thing is he was more stable until we brought Carver to his door.
Thank you.
That is true. Like, Kenny got roped into shit that
Maybe we should stop.
had nothing to do with him,
This is bullshit.
just because he wanted to help
Tell
these
me to
people.
relax. He's lying. He's been lying this whole time.
You don't fucking know that.
I know we've been walking all day and we're still fucking nowhere.
Like, you know, he goes out and he helps these people,
Let's see.
and then what's he get in return for it?
Well, there's a
His
fence.
second,
Help with walking.
you know, love interest is murdered in front of him, or dies in front of him, or whatever you want to, like, eaten, whatever.
Calm, quiet night.
After going through the shit that he's already gone through, he basically goes through a repeat of Season 1. On top of that, he loses his eyeball, most likely gets brain damage from getting beaten so damn bad.
Y'all wait.
And, like,
I'll go make sure this ain't some...
and then if you're in Kenny's shoes, you know, this, like, everybody's, like, going against you. You know what I mean? This episode, it seems like everybody's just going against Kenny. Except for Clementine, depending on your choices, if you play Clementine as that. Otherwise, it's literally everybody is against Kenny.
It's okay. It's okay.
You're a natural.
But honestly, I feel like it's pretty realistic,
Think
you
he
know?
likes you.
Kenny, the way he reacts and everything, if somebody was to go through,
He's cute.
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
you know, if somebody was to go through all of the shit that Kenny's gone through, I feel like
True. They usually look like
What-
little aliens.
happens to him and how he reacts is honestly pretty realistic for most people. I don't think that people are just going to be like calm and collected after all the shit that they go through, especially something like Kenny. Now, there are definitely characters in the universe I think that have gone through worse, but I mean, if you really think about it, like think about Rick, right? Rick from The Walking Dead, the comic books or the TV show. I mean, I can't say that I fully completed that TV show or the comics, but you can see a very similar like character arc with Rick, where he loses everything. Like it's almost like a very similar like type of story with
Well, happy
what's
birthday.
going on with Kenny here.
Man. Happy birthday.
How can you even tell?
Spoilers for anybody who plans on reading the comics or the TV show, but you know, Rick starts off really happy, hopeful, and then his fucking wife dies and his newborn dies, depending if you're reading the comics or watching the TV.
27?
And then if you're watching the TV version, you know, Carl, his son, dies,
Start with that shit.
and you know, you can see this character arc where like Rick kind of turns into what eventually would be like a lot of people
I'm sure there's some asshole
consider him a villain.
waiting.
Uh,
I hope I can
other
get
groups
someday,
do,
maybe
like-
when this is all over.
But you know, us as the viewer, we want to see Rick succeed in his goals, and we don't care how it really gets done. But you start to see that kind of downfall of Rick, which I think is quite similar to what happens with Kenny here,
Oh, stop it.
where they will do literally anything and they don't give a shit. You know, if somebody's gonna argue with them, they don't fucking care. It's their way or the highway. If people get in the way, they're gonna kill them. If it means protecting their loved
This
ones.
is as good a time as any.
Yeah, let me get a sip.
I'd like a sip. I mean, after you, obviously.
Really?
No.
He is not descending into evil, but he's descending into mental instability. Yeah. I wouldn't say Kenny's an evil character at all. I know there's some people that think that, but I think Kenny is,
You gotta make
like I said, he's very realistic with what's
I'm not really the,
Come
with his
on,
surroundings,
boy.
what
Don't
he's
act
gone
fancy.
through,
A toast means we all
and
got
Oh, we can just pass the
yeah,
bottle around after.
it's just I don't think Kenny is a bad person. I think he is flawed. I've seen people online saying that Kenny is an abusive narcissist and all these buzzwords, and I'm like, dude, that's insane. That is absolutely insane. Kenny, even when he is like losing his mind, risks his life, will throw everything away to keep
pretty secure.
Clementine and AJ safe.
Baby might be
He is
cold.
very selfless.
keep him warm. He's a tough little guy. Yeah.
Come on, Kenny. Just sit a little while longer.
Nah, you stay warm.
He only really appears stable in season 3 because they aren't around other adults.
Post up
Oh,
over
that's
here
true.
to hold the fence.
Walking Dead season 7 plus writers can drop dead. Yeah, I used to really be into The Walking Dead, and the early seasons of The Walking
Fire's
Dead,
real nice.
Dead were
Plenty of
perfection.
room if you want to get warm.
And
Maybe.
I don't know. I guess
I didn't expect
I think I got into The Walking Dead first through the comics. The comics were really great, and the TV show came out, and I started watching the TV show,
I know.
and then you know, the game came out, and then I kind of always gravitated more towards the games, these Telltale games.
Well, she helped us back.
But yeah,
So that puts
I
us
think
in-
after
Well, it ain't no secret how you feel about it.
I'd say after the Negan imprisonment,
It was stupid.
where Rick takes him
I
hostage,
understand. She's a pretty girl.
that's kind of where I kind of left off of the TV show, because I don't know what it was with the TV show, but the comics were just
Guess I
way
just
more
wanted
interesting to me
forget
than the
about all
TV
this
show
shit for like
was.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Man,
Um,
that's longer than I'd last at this point.
It's kind of ironic if you really think about it. Like The Walking Dead
Come on.
as a
Not a
whole,
little
as a
around.
series, is dying.
Forget I said anything.
It's my fault for bringing it up.
I know
It's
what you're talking about.
I certainly hope
which is a
not.
shame. I used to really enjoy this series many years ago, but I feel like now they're just kind of beating a dead horse at this
Yes,
point.
Yes, that is
Um,
exactly it.
Was there any kissing?
You shut your mouth
Which-
right now.
It's like it doesn't have to be like that. They can make interesting things happen. It's just I don't know. I'm not a TV show director. I'm not a comic book writer. I'm not a video game
Maybe she came back
director,
for you.
but you know, I feel like there's ways to make it better.
I don't know what to say to that.
I don't know. Maybe she likes him?
No, I think we could bet on that.
He did not care about The Walking Dead. He was just there for a paycheck.
Luke's a
Yeah,
really
yeah,
captain.
exactly.
Hey, shut up.
Don't be modest. Your moves are working on all the ladies.
Worked on me.
I don't hate Kenny, nor do I think he's
I
evil.
did it too,
I just
didn't
hold him
I?
accountable for his actions despite his past, but
Sorry.
even that will get the Kenny fans mad at me.
Say a drunk man's talk.
Yeah, I honestly think in my original playthrough, I tried to, like, press Kenny on a lot of things. In Season 2. Like, I would still side with him, but, like, I would call him out on shit.
It's too cold.
But, this playthrough, I've been really, like, kind of just
Here, maybe a swig of this will change.
riding with Kenny throughout Season 1 and Season 2. I've been doing all the choices to, kind of be a Kenny fan. People seem to think your past is an excuse for the abuse you put others through when it comes to Kenny. But they don't apply the same logic to characters like Jolene, the Stranger, and even Lily. That is true. That is a very good point. I've kind of thought about that too before. I do think, though, that there's some differences between those characters. I think Jolene was the girl with the crossbow in Season 1, if I remember, if that's who you're talking about. And, I just feel like Jolene just didn't get fleshed out enough.
I wouldn't have expected a bottle to last this long.
I feel like if she got more fleshed out and more screen time,
I'll pretend I believe you.
maybe people could have understood her story a bit more and understand why she was so crazy, but obviously that's not possible. She dies no matter what, very quickly.
I don't know. it might be awkward. I wasn't expecting
Lily, though, that is a
you know, you're around.
that is a certain point right there.
What does that even mean? What's the it?
You know.
Yeah, that's tough.
I made it with Luke.
It's honestly pretty tough because Lily is also, if you really get down to the wire with it, Lily is like basically Kenny in a really weird way if you think about it. I know a lot of people might not agree with that, but if you really think about it,
Okay.
Lily is well,
You okay?
it's harder to say. Lily in Season 1 is very similar to Kenny,
Uh-oh. Busted.
but Lily in the future of the series
I wasn't too much older than you.
is nothing like Kenny. Because I could not see Kenny doing the shit that
There was this time I broke into my parents'
Lily
library
does in the later part of the season,
This really
in the final season.
spicy,
Because
sweet liquor.
that's just,
What was its name? It was dumb. Earthquake or
yeah.
something.
That Kenny is,
Sounds
or
like you were a bad
that Lily is,
I guess I was. At the bottom.
I don't know what the word would be,
these
but
sugar crystals, and I got it in my head that I really wanted to eat a couple.
like,
I got the bright idea to smash
I
it
could never see Kenny turning into a child soldier,
Shattered into a
like,
heap of
recruiter.
pieces all over
Because
the
Lily basically turns into like a secondary Carver, almost.
with sugar candy.
Wow. That's really stupid.
Yeah, Clem.
And honestly, I couldn't see, like yeah, Lily was basically like a Carver camp,
Not like
but
sugar crystals.
stealing children.
Never really been a
I don't know.
problem for me.
Keep
I guess I have to well, we'll get to that point when I play the final season, but I'll have to see exactly what it was that she was doing again, because it's been a couple years since I played that too.
one.
Maybe you shouldn't be drinking.
You're not the first one to tell me that. I haven't thought about that in a long time.
Jane's telling us about how she likes eating glass over here.
A deal's a deal. Here. That guy needs a drink more than any of us.
Lily has trauma like Kenny, but that has nothing to do with her actions. She'll do anything to stay alive.
Time to not make it weird.
Yeah, that's true, because... Yeah, so if we take Season 1, Lily and Kenny only, while they both have similar ideas and they butt heads, like, their ideals are similar.
I'm fine.
It's their executions that they butt heads about.
Yeah.
And I will say the biggest flaw of that argument, though, would be that, you know, Lily shoots Doug or Carly, depending on who you have left alive in your group. And she claims that she's doing to protect people, but she doesn't, like, she constantly shows that she doesn't really care. If you give her the option to stick around and wait with the group, she just steals your RV and drives off. She doesn't truly care about the people anymore because the one that she really cared about, her dad, is dead. Meanwhile, Kenny loses his family, and while he acts like an asshole, he still is there to try to support people. And even when, if you play Lee as kind of a, you know, butting heads with Kenny, even though they fight, he still cares about, like, you know, Clementine and shit like that. But at the same time, no, if you really, I'm sorry, this is a tangent, but if you really treat Kenny like shit and you don't side with him on everything throughout season 1, I do believe that he actually tells you to go fuck yourself when you ask him to help you find Clementine when you're Lee. So I think, yeah, it really depends on how you play, which is nice. I mean, it doesn't change the overall plot, but it does change how you view Kenny as a character. Let's see. I'm gonna give Kenny the bottle. Despite that, though, I don't know. The way I've played these games in the past, Kenny was always was definitely a bro for me. I will say, though, the difference between what I've done in this past stream of season 1 versus when I first played is I do distinctly remember beating Kenny's ass on the train, which does kind of change how he acts towards you, but not by much.
It ain't right. I know you think you're older, but
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to disappoint you.
you're not, hun. It's probably not my place to be telling you what to do.
Now, Kenny, to an extent, was becoming a secondary Carver. Yeah, he was, a little bit. What Lily was becoming was worse than even what Alpha became.
Just
Alpha.
needed some.
Oh, okay, those were the...
There's air.
It was the group from the comic books, or the TV show. Yeah, that's true. I definitely think what the outcomes for both of these characters, like,
After Sarita was,
season 1, Lily,
I couldn't handle it.
well, she did shoot
Sorry.
Carly or Doug.
You did.
I think that Lily still had some redeemable qualities.
Tried to help.
But once both of these characters go through,
I'm so sorry.
You don't have anything to apologize for.
like this right here,
You didn't mean it.
you know, Kenny
Thanks.
really, I mean, he was frustrated and he wasn't right in what he was doing. But he put all the blame on Clementine and he was mad. But here he is, apologizing.
Seem like I should have made mistakes. Wasn't there a whole lot for
Meanwhile, when you meet Lily, she doesn't apologize for shit.
somewhere or other.
She will actively, like, try to kill you if you
That time away from
get in her way.
from my family.
I think that's the separation here with Lily and Kenny.
With them.
Something simplistic, such as an argument where Kenny blows up on you, and
Doug,
he's over here apologizing to you.
face. Anything in the world.
Maybe you'll see them again someday.
Well, from here on out, I'm gonna try and believe that too. It's gonna be different with him. He's gonna get raised right. I won't make the same mistakes.
Kenny and Carver had in common was they let rage dictate their choices. Yes, exactly.
You should get
That is
fire.
exactly the point
Ain't no sense
that I was
in-
trying to say. I just couldn't figure out how to say it.
I can handle watch on my own.
You should come too.
I don't know.
Come on. It'll be good for everyone.
Maybe I should have left Kenny here.
Okay.
I know that if you don't convince him, he will actually beat Arvo's ass. Let's see, what else were we saying? What Lily and Alpha have in common was they throw all morals to the wind. That's pretty true. The difference between Alpha and Lily was Alpha didn't go looking for war and conflict. Lily started shit and expected others to do the fighting. Yeah, my memory's a little foggy on the final season, but I feel like that's right. I don't know. Lily could have been a redeemable character, but they definitely went with a certain direction in her
Jane.
final season arc. That
I find
That was
it
something
best to
else.
Get this stuff out in the open. Less drama.
Of
Well, that's fine.
Yeah, she definitely.
But I can confirm there was no time for kissing.
Man, I really, like, I really like this series, man.
Hey, you, Clem.
I haven't, you know,
To hear people
really
laugh.
sat down and enjoyed any sort of Walking Dead content for years, man. And now that I'm doing it and I'm thinking about all this, the comic books, the TV shows, the games, the fucking books. I had novels. Like, what the fuck, man? I really miss this series. I miss what it used to be. It was so good. Even when it was flawed, it was such a good series.
Let me get that box.
I just think a lot of the issues with The Walking Dead, the game, and the TV show especially, stem from really bad writers, or bad directors, and management.
That makes it even harder to deal with. Trust me.
I don't like it either, but we shouldn't let it ruin a nice night.
I said my piece.
I don't think that boy's a bad person.
I recently got a hold of the 4th compendium. I haven't read it, but I'm considering rereading all of them.
A lot more now.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I remember when I got into The Walking Dead, I think it was actually my dad's.
Sorry, okay?
He had the first 2
Shouldn't have-
compendiums, whatever. And, yeah, I don't know.
It's okay. It's okay.
I feel like at this point,
Place.
the,
It's okay. It's okay.
the rest of the series really lies within Robert Kirkman and his comic book. Because that's, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's flaws in the comics, but I never felt disappointed with the comics as I have with the TV show and the games.
Don't mention it.
You did good. It was nice while it lasted.
But I think one of the things that really stands out to me about The Walking Dead that kind of makes it kind of give you this burnout feeling is it's actually ironic because this statement is said by Nick in this season. I think if you go with Nick at that first episode, is The Walking Dead always lies with you know, you start with a group, you go to some new place, a bunch of people die, okay, you go on,
Okay.
you go to a new place, and then a bunch of people die. And then zombies come, and it's like the same thing over and over. It's just a constant repeating cycle.
You've been saying that
Which,
every time I ask.
Please.
I guess is
I'm really starting to think you're full of shit.
It can't be much further.
Behind you!
What the fuck? Ah! Ah!
kind of, how do I say it?
Jesus Christ.
It's kind of hard for me to focus on the game and talk at the same time, but,
That was close.
Fucker came out of nowhere.
That was real loud. Hope
It's
there
like-
aren't more of them.
Yeah, well, let's move. We don't want to be around.
I think The Walking Dead shines is, well, they do have this, like, kind of repeating cycle of, like, horrible shit happening and then moving on to a new place, horrible shit happening, moving on to a new place, is that there's always some sort of glimmer of hope. And I think that's where the original comics really shine, is the characters and how they cope with their trauma, and then how they find hope, and what keeps them going, you know? Which is why this, like, especially this season, to me,
Fireplace.
feels really, really,
I'd just like a place to sit.
disjointed
It looks
from the overall themes of
Yes.
anything, including The
It's
Walking Dead. Because there isn't really much hope in this season at all,
Said that, I'm not sure.
aside from AJ,
It ain't.
but that's about it.
Kid's gonna wish it was.
All of it gets ripped away from you. A
Are we
lot.
just gonna walk over?
Clem is like Arvo. Or wait,
Maybe there's a way around.
I don't
hold
see
on.
any.
Let me try to catch up with the chats here.
Say it in
You said
American
earlier?
It's okay.
Yeah, say it in American.
Ice.
accent. Shit ice. That's the problem.
He's saying it's fine.
if we just
You said earlier that there was an option to shoot during the standoff. If that's true, that would have made the decision
Yeah,
heavy
no
if they
need to
actually
rush this.
used
We need to spread out.
Russell in
Just to
place
be
of
safe.
Mike.
Less wait, the better.
I still feel like it would be nice to have Mike in that place, because, well, I wasn't, like, super big of a fan of Mike. I did kind of like Mike. But then again, though, I think I was more of a fan of Russell than I was Mike. It's kind of cool too, because Mike was originally supposed to be the raider or the bandit or whatever you want to call it, the scavenger that shot or pulls the pistol out on Krista in season 1, or not season 1, episode 1, excuse me. Because like Arvo, Mike is a complete stranger. Oh, cause like Arvo, Mike is a complete stranger if you don't know him. Choices regarding him are very easy. But it's a choice of shooting Russell or being robbed. That would be a tough decision. Yeah. I don't know. They just... There's a lot of missed opportunity with this episode, and I feel like
Don't worry.
what you're saying is what I've always kind of agreed with as well. I feel like a lot of other people that have played this season feel that way too, is they should have incorporated 400 Days characters a hell of a lot more than they did, and
Should be all right.
Let's just get to the house.
this would have been a much more
Hey, stay with
enjoyable
us.
season for a lot of people. Because there's a lot of people who think that this season is the worst season, which is strange because it's my favorite season, but I totally understand why people
Hey,
dislike this season.
motherfucker.
There's a lot of flaws with it.
Kenny!
Get back here, you piece of shit.
Stop him, Kenny!
Oh yes, I remember this
I made
now.
it.
Well, I'm gonna do a very specific set of choices to make this a very interesting option.
Don't come over here.
There's kind of a hidden
Hey, I can
choice
make
you can do here
it. It's fine.
that I didn't realize until I replayed this game for like the 3rd or 4th time years ago.
You got walkers.
So I'm gonna showcase that here. I'm not sure. I'm assuming a lot of people know this now, but
Stop! Stop! I'm fine. I'm fine.
No, you're not.
I just gotta pull myself out.
You need help, Luke!
The ice is too thin. I got it.
You need to help.
No!
Clem,
You're gonna fall
go!
through.
Go help
No,
him.
Clem,
Clem,
do not.
just go back for him. You're light. You
Stop
can do it.
telling her that. Clem, look at me. Pull out your gun.
God, this was the dumbest thing that Bonnie's ever done.
Little time.
Clem, you can make it, but you need to go.
No.
Now.
Clem.
Help Luke does
too
nothing.
dangerous.
Like we could have
I
just
need some more time. You guys gotta hurry.
he could have pulled himself out of this.
Figure it out.
He could have pulled himself out of this.
Thanks. I'll be out in a sec. Just keep shooting.
Then of course Bonnie has to go and fuck it all up.
My leg.
Luke should have survived
I just need a
right here
rest a second.
Keep him off us,
No,
Clem.
no, it's too much.
if you chose this option.
Shut the fuck up.
Go back.
I gotcha.
Luke!
Too late.
Clementine, stop!
I don't really want to see. Oh man.
Clementine!
God damn it. Fuck, I really. It still sucks, man. I know regardless, but. God damn it. Fuck. This is what makes season 2 my favorite, but also why I dislike it the most is no matter what you do, Luke will die here. He will drown and he will freeze to death. Now that is a little secret thing you can do. Instead of Clementine getting pulled in the water, totally changes some things.
Jesus Christ.
So for starters, Bonnie is dead now too, because of what I just did.
They would start a fire.
I chose to cover Luke, and then I chose not to break the ice. That is 2 specific choices you have to choose. Bonnie and Luke are dead now.
Fucking gone. Jesus. We should have gone around.
God damn it.
We should have just fucking gone around.
It's my fault. I should have stayed with him.
Said I started to go. There wasn't nothing any of us could do.
You son of a bitch! This is your fucking fault!
Kenny, don't, man.
Oh, what?
It's nobody's damn fault.
The hell it ain't.
Please stop fighting!
Also, what's cool too is Clementine isn't dropped in the water. She isn't freezing. So the way she talks here is a lot more pronounced.
Eyes are bullshit too. What? No speaking of English?
Because if you do the normal path, she goes in the water and she's freezing. They start a fire,
Commie piece of shit. Kenny.
and Clementine's very weak.
You mother. Fucking fuck, Kenny. Shit.
Let him go, Mike.
Get the fuck off of me.
I think I tried to save Arvo in my original playthrough. Either way, Arvo can look at me all he wants. Fuck this guy. I hate him so much. I wish Kenny would beat his ass more. Granted,
What did you do to him?
I'm playing with the knowledge of knowing what happens after this,
There's another just like it.
so
Wasn't
I'm
lying.
very biased. But God, it's so satisfying to see Arvo get his ass beat.
You want to tell me how a can of fucking chili is gonna help
How
a
is
baby?
beating a kid to death gonna help anyone?
Anyways, to kind of continue off what I was trying to say there,
I'm tying him up.
both of those choices,
Fine. Mike, help me get a fire
Clementine will fall in the water and she will freeze, and they need to start a
Mike.
fire and all that.
Yeah.
And what's cool is Clementine has two separate dialogues here. She's either like freezing dialogue, or she's in this dialogue right here where she's not cold and she's not freezing from falling in the water. Anyways, let me catch up on some of the chats here. I'd also have Vince in place of Reggie. Seeing Carver just kill Vince over nothing would have done a good job emphasizing we need to get out of here. That is true. Well, I when I first played it, it's like, oh man, why would he do that to Reggie? I don't really care all that much about Reggie. The game didn't give us enough time to care about him. Like, it's like, oh, a shock value, you know, but whatever. But yeah, if you had Vince in there, or any of the 400 Days characters, it'd be like, whoa, dude, whoa. Fuck this guy, you know? We need to get out of here. Exactly what you're saying. Let Bonnie die, please? Oh, don't you worry. She is dead.
He could have killed you.
Yeah, I also wouldn't kill Luke here. I would have replaced Jane with Shell, had Shell hide the baby, and get killed by Kenny, resulting in the fight between Luke and Kenny. Yeah, honestly, like, it should have been Luke and Kenny.
You should eat something.
It would have been a much more difficult choice in the end game if the choice was between Luke and Kenny. Because those are two characters that are honestly really great. I really like Luke, and I really like
Can't
Kenny.
believe he's gone.
I think Luke is probably, out of the cabin group, he is the best character out of the cabin group, in my opinion.
He cared about you too, Jane. I know he did.
God damn it.
Let Bonnie die, please, thank you. Especially since Luke isn't at fault in that
This would
scenario.
happen. I knew it. Always does.
Maybe not.
Yeah,
I'm gonna find something to clean that up.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Thank you.
This season should have been a Kenny and Luke,
Anymore.
Kenny v. Luke. And like I said before, this season, like, teases you with that. It foreshadows that there's going to be some sort of, like, important choice between Kenny or Luke,
Gotta get moving.
you know? It's constantly Luke versus Kenny, like,
Could use a hand out back with this
although it's a little bickering here and there, it's in every episode.
The vehicles ain't in bad shape. With a little luck, we can get one fixed up. Be out of here by nightfall.
Yeah, sure, Kenny.
And I think,
Spirit, darling.
you know, the choice in season 2 to
Way out back.
sit with Kenny or sit with Luke was a huge, like, foreshadow of what was coming. They had all this build-up, and for what? It doesn't have anything. It built up this big, like, confrontation that's coming with Luke and Kenny, but nothing ever happens. Now, granted, yes, that's realistic, you know, in an apocalyptic setting. You know,
Be careful.
people die for no fucking reason. People die just randomly like that. Which, it's hard to say. it's due to flawed writing, but it kind of works. I do like how this season plays out in that aspect because you feel useless. You feel like nothing you do matters.
I know she was running her mouth.
You shouldn't have done that to Arvo.
I know, Clem, but
I
Luke.
don't care. You can't do that.
Jesus, Clem.
That's the other thing too. See, Kenny here,
Like that?
even though he is not a fan of Luke,
All of us,
he's
Kenny.
like
It won't happen again.
he's very upset. Like he's not showing it, but like that little dialogue right there, he's upset that Luke is dead, even though he didn't like Luke and they fought each other all the time.
But AJ
Like-
needs us now. We gotta stick together on this thing.
And that kind of goes back to what we were saying before, is how Kenny usually takes his problem solving is through like rageful actions and shit like that. But I think that's, I don't know, that's kind of selfless of Kenny
Daddy always had a half dozen
to
wrecks he was
care
missing.
about somebody who he dislikes. He did the same thing with Ben in season 1.
But he taught me respect. A girl like Jane could learn a thing or two about that.
She's not easy to like.
Well, that's putting it mild. Feels like another Lily situation to me. All right, give it a turn.
Having a choice between killing Kenny to save someone who did nothing wrong would have been so difficult. That is true, yeah. This is the thing about emotional instability. In the moment you think you can control it, but when it explodes you can't. That's kind of what I was referring to before. It's just like, that's why I think Kenny is very realistic. He's one of the more realistic characters written in this game.
Then we can get out on the
Is
road.
that
Really makes
you know,
a
a lot of people will say a lot of things about how they'll control this or control that, but when you get into an altercation, when you get into a situation where the stakes are high and everything, you got
I mean, hell, there's got to be something out here.
you know,
other than
you've got
snow,
adrenaline,
goddamn
you know,
Euro
people are
trash.
dying left and right.
Sounds good to me.
Like, there's people who will say, yeah, I could handle that, I could be calm, I could be rational, but you're not going to. You're not going to. That's a simple fact.
All right, turn it
And
in.
like,
Did you turn it?
yes.
I don't know. I'm no therapist, I'm no psychologist, but
We'll get it working.
you know,
We gotta get moving if we're gonna keep
going
this
through
shit
this,
alive.
like, if you were realistically in this situation,
I gotta
your
get
mind
this
is going to get
started.
so fucked up from so many different
Gonna try
things.
warming up
I
the
don't know
battery.
what you would call it, like
Go on
PTSD or whatever, but definitely some sort of trauma is going on in your brain. And it's just like, I don't know. It feels like a lot of the other characters, shitty things just happen, and then they just act like whatever. They're just whatever about it. It's like it doesn't even faze them, which to me kind of seems very unrealistic. Because most people, they can't bounce back from shit like that, just like at the snap of a finger, you know? That's why I like Kenny. He's a very realistic written, well-written character because he's losing his mind.
Busted.
I forgot. What the hell am I supposed to be doing here? Oh yeah, well, here's another cool thing is, so if Bonnie was alive here, Bonnie would be sitting somewhere over here. I think she's smoking a cigarette, and she blames you for Luke's death. I remember that. You'd be like, well, at least one of us tried to help. You know, and that kind of starts the whole, well, it depends. If you do go out for Luke, I think she's more sympathetic with you. Which plays into the very next part of this scene. Which is going to happen very soon. What the hell am I supposed to be doing again? Oh, I think I'm supposed to go inside.
Any help?
I'm fine. Go check on AJ.
Everyone thinks they are apocalypse material, but they forget only 1% makes it in the... Yeah, that's exactly right. Same, like, there's a lot of people who say a lot of things about how they could handle all these situations. Not even just apocalypse situations, but like anything. Like, oh yeah, I could do that, totally calm, cool-headed. But that's just not realistic. Unless you, like, have some sort of, like, insanely high, like, mental, like, control. Which, let's be real, that's a very rare percentage of people. You are going to lose your mind, you're going to get affected by certain things, and you won't act the same way you think you will.
Son of a bitch.
I've seen it too. A few times.
Then you know what's about to happen.
This is why I think Bonnie should have just died in the Russian fight and Luke shouldn't die at the lake. She contributed nothing to the story last episode 3. Well, past episode 3. Yeah, that's true.
Probably had a nice job,
I
a nice pretty wife.
I mean, I guess it's kind of interesting that they make it so that she's a determinant character, but it still feels, like, useless, because, I was just talking about this, but,
We can still make this work.
All I'm saying is
nobody cares that Bonnie is dead. Nobody cares that Luke is dead. They care for a little bit,
you two have known each other
and then
for a
that's
long
it.
time. Sooner or later, you're gonna have to decide how much.
And it's just... I don't know. It's partly due to how much crazy shit everybody's going through in this episode, but it's also just the writing. I've been yapping a lot too, by the way. Sorry about that. I know there's some people who want to watch the gameplay, so... Don't fret, though.
Seems like you've done that before.
I am not going to be saying too much once shit hits the fan in this episode.
It's not rocket science.
And I will be yapping everybody's ear off after the episode ends. Because then I can finally talk about all the cut content I want, and it won't be a spoiler anymore. But that is true,
There's
yeah.
not much left.
I was running with some people.
If Bonnie's alive,
down near
even, yeah, it's like if Bonnie's alive, it doesn't even matter, because what's about to happen
Can't remember his name.
just changes everything.
Call me
It's,
Mary Jane.
yeah.
He was a dick.
I do really wish Luke was alive, though.
The dick got stuck under a car.
Would have made for a
for
better,
hours.
confrontation
Now
in
that they went
this
down, they're
episode.
trying to save him. Lost 4 people before we got him out.
All that for one person?
That's what I'm saying. Didn't find out till later he was already bit. Turned and ripped the neck right out of this old lady. The look on her face was... She was just staring up at the sky, like she was watching a bird. Look, Clem.
I just feel like this episode, this season overall, but especially this episode, tries to portray, like, the fact that, you know, Kenny is losing his mind and he's dangerous. He's too dangerous for Clem and AJ, but it's just... I don't know. Like, what Jane is just saying here, and, like, every fucking time,
At least a week.
is,
Time for the baby?
We need to find a place for the baby.
Yeah.
she's always trying to lecture the player about how dangerous Kenny really
Should
is,
head
you know?
back south.
What?
We're kind of free.
And it's like, yeah,
I don't know
okay.
whose stupid idea it was to march
Kenny's
up here.
dangerous, yet you're willing to let a...
What if we went back
How
to
old
house?
was Sarah? Like a 14-year-old girl just get ripped apart by zombies because you don't want to put in the extra work? Because you think that she's too weak?
We are
There's a very
fucking-
Darwinistic mindset.
We did?
We're going to find Wellington, right, Clem?
Wellington?
Kenny, it's freezing up here, man.
It's only gonna get worse.
We came this far. We're not going back.
I'm with Kenny. We should head north.
Goddamn right.
Clem,
My friend Krista. She told me about Wellington a long time ago, Jane. It's out there.
Look, I don't give 2 shits about what you people think. I got this truck working, so I say where we go. And we're heading fucking north. It's the best chance we got of helping AJ.
What about Arbo?
Who? Oh, the Rusky? Yeah, he ain't coming with us.
You're just gonna leave him here?
I don't give a good goddamn where he goes. He's done.
He's too dangerous to bring.
at this point, you might be right.
He knows the area.
See, even Jane kind of agrees on that.
Yeah, some help he's been. He got Luke killed.
I ain't gonna say he helped the situation, but maybe if you eased up on him before, he wouldn't have run away in the first place. You ever think about that, Kenny?
Either way, I'm not going anywhere in the middle of the night.
Yeah, me neither. There could be a herd out there.
You want that child's blood on your hands, Mike?
We're all gonna die out here if you don't calm the fuck down, Kenny.
Haven't we been through enough for one day?
Jesus fucking Christ. Remember the last time we had a working car and sat around on our asses, Clem?
I'm going inside.
God damn it!
You can't just walk away from us.
You better talk some sense into him. For his sake.
God damn it! That stupid fucking... Get the fuck out of here!
It's me.
Clem. Sorry, just give me a second. Close the door.
Poking at your eye socket there, Kenny. I see there's quite a few chats here too. I gotta catch up on.
A working truck, and they act like I just shit in their cereal. I knew Jane'd have a stick up her ass, but I thought at least Mike'd have more sense. He's turned out to be a real disappointment.
They're scared of you, Kenny.
If their big plan is to wander around in the woods, they ought to be scared of more than me.
Did you hear me?
We're all scared. Look, we got maybe a day's worth of food for that kid left. That's it. Clem, think about Rebecca and Alvin. I mean, what if Lee hadn't gone tearing across half of Georgia looking for you? A lot of folks died to make that happen. A lot of folks died to get us this far. We owe it to them to see this done.
I know. You're right.
Someone's got to keep this group together. That kid's depending on us.
See, and that's the thing. Kenny cares about this kid a lot, and I feel like Mike partially does.
What do you think he'd say?
Clearly Jane doesn't. And it's like they're all arguing, and Kenny's trying to,
I think he'd tell me to not trust anyone. And
They're trying to tell Kenny how things need to go, but, like, Kenny's trying to think of the baby. He's not trying to think of himself. Mike is kind of either way. And Jane's just kind of doesn't give a shit either way. She's more so, like, we know her ideals. She doesn't care about the baby. If the thing died, she'd probably be like, oh, whatever. Now we don't have as many issues in our
Might
group.
be bullshit, but where there's smoke, there's fire. Krista heard about it too, right?
I have placed where all 400 Days characters could have been utilized, but instead of utilizing them, they used strangers.
I was dreaming.
Yeah.
And when you sat down next to me and we shared that meal, well, I could tell.
They definitely should have.
I felt
They could have utilized them much better.
the pride I hadn't felt in a long time. But I need you now, Clem. There have to be folks doing better than us. It's the only chance that child has.
something has to be out here. We'll find it, Kenny.
I knew I could count on you, Clem. Look, we'll figure everything out in the morning.
Jane, Mike, Reggie, and Arvo all suffer from the fact the player has no incentive to care for them,
Be ready.
and there's no reason for it to be that way because they spent a DLC building up all these characters. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's like the one person that I really cared about from the cabin group was Luke. And it's like they just toss him to the wind. I cared about Eddie. Even though I wouldn't be so surprised to see him dead, I would like to see Nate. You know? These are characters that I would have rather seen than, you know, random Russian group in the woods. You know? Or even, yeah, Bonnie. Because, I mean, it's cool that she's in here, but who cares? Okay, I'm going to stop yapping so much right now because this is an important thing here. And I'm also going to talk about this. There's cut content here. Cut content that was actually originally in one of the games for the PS3.
Who's there?
Or maybe it is in the game. I don't know. It would be nice if they put it back in the game. I guess we'll see.
Step back.
Clem. Shit.
What are you doing?
We're just leaving. keep it down, all right? Nobody else has to get involved.
That's everything we have.
Actually, I take it back. Mike doesn't give a shit about this baby. He doesn't give a shit about anybody else if they're willing to take everything.
Penny?
Damn it, just... We don't have time for this. All right, Clem. Now I'm gonna walk up to you nice and slow, and you're gonna give me the gun, okay? And then we'll talk.
Why are you doing this?
He didn't give us any choice.
Он злой человек.
Just give me the gun, Clem. I'm not gonna hurt you.
I'll shoot.
There we go.
Okay, no, it's not in here.
It's fine. Just...
And that right there is why I fucking don't like Arvo at all.
Oh my god, Clem! Clem!
What the hell? Mike doesn't even care? What? I thought Mike is supposed... It's either Mike or Bonnie is supposed to care, depending on your choices. Okay. Maybe I can't. I'm gonna not yap, because this is a very heartwarming scene here.
Lee?
It's just a bad dream, sweet pea. What was it about? Duck?
He's bit.
We don't know how this works yet. Maybe it's like a cold. His mom's a doctor. Maybe she can help him. When I was a kid, I never got sick. But my brother always had something.
He's going to die. I know it.
You don't know that?
I feel bad.
Why?
I called him a crybaby when I hid the bug in his pillow.
Oh, that's okay, honey. You didn't mean it.
Lee?
Hmm?
Why did Lily do that to Carly?
I don't know. She was sad, Clem. That can make people angry sometimes.
Have you ever been that angry?
One time. Well, people don't always make sense.
How come?
Because bad things happen to everyone. And it's hard to keep being yourself after they do. Do you think we should have let Lily stay?
I don't know.
I don't either. I don't know if we did the right thing.
How can you tell?
Well, it's not like math, Clem. Sometimes there just isn't a right answer.
I hate math.
Me too, sweet pea. But part of growing up is doing what's best for the people you care about, even if sometimes that means hurting someone else.
I don't want to hurt anyone.
It's not that easy.
I'm scared, Lee.
What can I tell you to make it better?
That you won't leave me.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. I promise.
Damn, man. These Lee flashbacks are fucking sad.
It's gonna be all right. Let's try to get some sleep.
Okay, Lee.
Oh, damn. Yep. Got me tearing up a little bit on that one, Telltale. Alright, alright, let's see, chats. Bonnie is the one who cares, but only if you help Luke going to him. But that's the thing, though. I swear that if you don't do that, then Mike is the one that cares, while Bonnie is trying to get Mike to leave. But I might be misremembering. No matter which ending... Wait. Clem stops being herself in Season 3. Good foreshadow. Oh, yeah, from Lee. There. No matter which ending Clem got, she ends up facing some sort of trauma. That is also true. I guess to elaborate on what I was talking about, the cut content there is when you threaten Mike with the gun, and there's that part where you're aiming the gun at him, there's actually an option, there was an option to shoot him and kill him.
Hey, you.
And it also affects this scene,
You passed out from the shock.
because you can ask if Mike's dead, and they will confirm it. I will show all this after this episode is done.
It hurts. Couldn't find the bullet. Must have gone.
It's actually pretty cool. I don't know why they took it out, but
You'll be fine.
Those sons of bitches. I mean, I expected it from the Russian. But Mike? I could tell they were working on something.
I didn't think they'd go that far.
Yeah, well, who would steal our food and shoot a kid? We never should have thrown in with trash like that in the first place.
I can't believe they did that.
I don't think they knew what they were doing, except trying to get away.
Yeah, well, they're gone now. Good fucking riddance.
Now that Clem's awake, we should talk about where we're going.
We're headed north.
What, to find Wellington?
You sure talk a lot of shit, but you got a better plan?
We head south, back to House.
Carver's camp? The fuck kind of plan is that?
I think Bonnie said there was more formula.
why does everybody not believe in Wellington? Krista talks about it, Carver talks about it,
Wellington's out.
Kenny knows about
You
it.
have to keep looking, Jane.
Clem, you can't be falling for this.
Like, I wish we had...
Mind, Jane.
Clem, please. This is suicide.
I wish we had more of an option to
Why don't you?
Me?
tell
Look,
people about
even if there is
Wellington.
someplace up here, it could take us weeks to find it. We could get back to House in a day.
Tell you what, we can turn around just as soon as you pry this wheel from my cold, dead fingers. How's that sound?
Whatever. I give up.
Get your feet off the dash.
Let's play a game, Clem. I spy with my little eye an asshole. Your turn.
Grow.
Ah, one eye, I get.
I'll pull this fucking car over.
Go ahead.
You want to die out here?
Better than waiting to die next to you.
Leave him alone, Jane.
No, Clem, it's fine. Let her run her mouth. I am done playing games with you, Jane.
Fuck you. You don't know a damn thing about me.
Oh, I know exactly what you are. Nothing. Nobody cares about you. And you don't care about nobody but yourself. That makes you nothing.
What is it with you? It's your family, right?
Don't.
It is, isn't it?
I'm warning you, you little shit.
You're just another type A asshole trying to save a bunch of dead people.
This isn't the time for this.
No, this is exactly the time for this.
You listen to me. You mouth off about my family, and I will fucking end you.
Jesus Christ, I'm so sick of this wounded warrior crap. Just pull over. I can't take this.
What? Running away again? What a fucking shocker. In the end, still only care about yourself, right?
And where were you when Sarita died, Kenny? Huh? Where were you?
I was there. I couldn't. God damn you, I love that woman!
Who could love you? Look at you. You can't raise this kid. It's scared to death of you.
Yeah, like, why is Jane doing this?
Saving your ass from that hellhole. And I would have left you to rot if I'd known what you were.
Jane, Kenny loved Sarita.
Of course he did. He loves having anyone around that does what he says. That's why he loves this kid.
Like, she's clearly trying to get under his skin over
You
bullshit.
know the thing about people like you, Kenny? You're just a bomb waiting to go off. Everyone talks about you behind your back because they're afraid of you.
That ain't true.
Mike, Bonnie, Sarita,
Fucking liar, that ain't true!
everyone around you knows that sooner or later, they're gonna end up dead. Sarita knew it, I know it, and so does Clementine.
I told you not to talk about my family!
Fuck you!
You fucking piece of shit!
Go to hell, you son of a bitch!
Jesus!
It's just a rumor, there's no real confirmation.
How's AJ?
El Kenny and
fine.
Clementine didn't
Sure.
fire for 2
Yes.
weeks.
Clem.
I guess, yeah, that makes sense. But still, though,
Penny, I'm...
Wait, hold on.
like Kenny said, where there's smoke, there's fire. Everybody, I mean, not everybody, but there's a good number of people that heard about
Running
Wellington.
on fumes. Got no choice. When I holler, it's okay. Drive up closer. Anything happens,
Another big,
I'll try to
Oh.
meet you there.
let's see, another big flaw
Kenny,
behind going for Wellington is how they already weren't accepting people. The group would have been turned away if they made it. Yeah, that's true.
God.
So in the end,
I
it
can't
wouldn't
do
have
this
mattered.
anymore. I'm serious, Clem. I tried, but I just can't.
you're both losing it.
Clem, everyone's like that around him. You know that.
See, it's ironic. Like she's trying to
Right.
provoke Kenny
Are you
to
serious?
take accountability
What about AJ?
in a really
I
shitty
know
way,
you're close to him,
or a
but
more
Kenny will never
confrontational
get
way.
it.
But like
This is our
what you just said there, that's like she's
What you
prodding
gotta
him
know
on
is you have
purpose,
to live your own
and she won't take accountability for that.
It's snowing. Why are they moving?
They must not be cold enough yet. Fuck.
Get us out of here!
I don't know how to drive.
See that pedal on the floor?
Step on it! Oh, just sit there!
Probably not the best
Hurry,
idea.
Hurry up!
Step on it in the middle of snow and telling a kid to step on it, like
Jesus.
Oh, get out of there!
The door is stuck.
Shit! Shit! There are more of them! Move! Clem! Clem, hurry!
what's going on here?
Out! Hurry!
Oh.
Jane! Jane, wait! Jane!
Holy crap. These graphics look way different than what I remember. Maybe not that much different, but ugh, looks weird to look at. Kenny and Jane were both being assholes. Kenny needed to control his temper, and Jane didn't need to dredge up Sarita and his family. Yeah, that is very true. Like, well, I am always kind of siding with Kenny. He does have his flaws. Jane does as well, but I feel like the way Jane does things is a lot more childish and self-centered. Whereas Kenny might be an asshole half the time, but he, in the end, is typically selfless to most people. Especially, like, kids, children. Because he's like a family, he's got that family man aura to him, you know. Meanwhile, Jane will let kids die because, you know, she's got this mentality of like the weak aren't worth saving type of thing, which is kind of weird because it kind of fits with Carver a little bit. Carver's mentality. So my assumption is, I mean, this is all theory from me, but my assumption is the way they wanted it to play out with Clementine freezing to death would be right here, and instead of Jane having the baby, it would be Clementine, and she would just freeze to death here. That's where that whole scene would play out, but... Let's see, we got another chat on YouTube. Well, she does try to help Sarah. She does, but only if you convince her to. The first Sarah death in the trailer, she is actively trying to tell you to just leave her. It's only if you save her there, and then in her second death scene, you have to constantly you have to convince her twice to go down there and try to help her. Which, ultimately, it is pointless. But still. At the very least, she does do it, but it feels more like you're forcing her to do it, rather than her just going out of her way to do it.
Jane? Kenny?
You alright?
Yeah,
Where is he? Where's the kid?
he's with her.
You left him with her?
I do really like this final scene here, though. I like the way it's set up. Like the suspense, the theme, music. Just kind of tense.
Wait,
Oh, thank Christ.
But this whole thing is bullshit from Jane.
Where's the kid? Jane, where is he?
where is he?
He's...
What are you saying? No. No!
But this is kind of what I was talking about, where it still seems like the themes... First off, that right there is foreshadowing. Not foreshadowing, but it's implying that Krista's baby died.
Just stay out of it.
Also this, yeah. Stay out of it.
Just trust me, Clem.
Stay out of what?
You have to trust me. You're gonna see what he really is.
But like the whole baby freezing in the winter thing that was in the original script, it's still kind of here in this scene, just implemented much differently.
Kenny, calm down. Don't do anything stupid.
Get out of my way.
Kenny?
How could you kill a fucking child?
I didn't kill him! It was an accident, Kenny!
I won't back down from you, Kenny.
Shut up!
I'm warning you.
Kenny, let her talk!
I'm done talking, Clem.
Clem, stay back. Don't you come near me, you son of a bitch.
Kenny! Get the fuck off!
Fuck you!
Stop, please! Let... Jane! Oh my god!
This is all your fucking fault! Piece of shit!
Just go.
I ain't going nowhere.
Jane, back off!
No, Clem. It's time to put this crusty piece of shit out of his misery.
Look, see? Like she... God, they're both fucking stupid.
Look at what you're doing! Listen to me!
Get her off! Fucking baby killer! God damn it! I'll fucking kill you!
I'm gonna try something different here. Because maybe I'm misremembering. I guess we'll see. I know in my original playthrough I shot Kenny and then I went back and saved, or let Kenny kill her. To be fair though, Jane did say stay out of it. So we're gonna do this and then we're gonna do something else. If it's here. Maybe I'm misremembering, I don't know. But I want to see what this outcome is.
She's gone, Clem. She just... How could she do that? Oh, Jesus. He's gone.
Oh, it is still here.
He's... Do it.
Oh my god.
Just do it.
No way we actually just... Jesus, dude. Fucking man, this season is fucked. I've never done that option before. Okay, Clementine still finds the baby. Hold on. I don't know if I really want to go with this option. Hold on. Before we get too far, I'm gonna check the chats because I know I gotta keep up with those. What they both did in this fight is bullshit. Jane provokes a fight. Knowing an implied death is all it takes, and Kenny tries to kill her off the implication of an accident. Yeah, Jane provoked him, but it did not take much. Look, he's not even willing to hear her out. Jane is not completely blameless. Not completely to blame, I mean. You can stop one from attacking, but the other just seizes it to strike. They aren't even trying to de-escalate. Yeah, they're really both at fault here. But at the end of the day, what it really boils down to is Jane is trying to prove a point that we already know, and I just don't understand. Like, what really goes through your fucking mind to think, like, yeah, let me provoke this person who is clearly mentally unstable, and let me take away one of the only things left that he cares about, that is his hope in this world. Like, I'm not surprised that Kenny does that. But, I mean, it doesn't really make it right. But at the end of the day, it is an apocalypse. There is no right or wrong anymore. There's no... Morals are kind of thrown out the window. But still, like, you're trying to think about how you should survive. And if your big idea to survive is to prove that the other person that you're surviving with is mentally unstable, when we already know that, all he needs is to make sure that the kids get safe. It's like, why? I don't know if I want to do this option. How to lock yourself in the alone ending. Okay, so the alone ending, that's where you just go by yourself. Hold on. God. I hope it didn't come... Did it save? I hope not. Uh-oh, my choices. Does it show my choices right now? Oh! Oh, God, no! They took away the rewind option in the new ones. You fuckers. I never understood why they did that. The dumbest thing ever. The original, you could rewind each point in the chapter. This one is just rewind the whole episode. I'm not doing that. Well, maybe hopefully I'll start off at the option to shoot. Oh, okay, thank God. To be honest, as depressing as it is,
I won't back down from you, Kenny. Shut up! I'm warning you.
Jane, don't. Just don't.
I feel like that ending right there is,
I don't need permission.
that ending right there is pretty, fitting for Season 2, for just being a fucking depressing, sad story, I guess. It also kind of seems like a... You're putting down... Like, it feels like an old Yeller situation. Like you're putting down the dog. And clearly Kenny knows it, too. Because he's... I've never really seen that scene, but he's just like, yeah, whatever, just do it.
Oh my God! This is all your fucking fault! Just go.
I ain't going nowhere.
Kenny, can we all just talk? Just sit down and talk.
Words ain't gonna fix this.
Yeah, even if her point is valid, what she did was wrong. The alone ending cost Clem a finger. Oh, really?
Listen to me!
Well, to make my playthrough of this game not to be a total Debbie Downer, there is a specific ending I want to go with. I'll have to see what this alone ending is. I'll look at. I'm gonna show all of the cut content and everything here after this, so I'll take a look at the other endings as well. I know the Jane ending, you end up at House, and I think like a family comes and they ask to come in. Shooting Kenny is also like, if you shoot Kenny, he even sits there and talks with you while he's dying, and he reaffirms that you did make a good choice. The trauma from a lone ending teaches Clem there's a limit to what you can do without groups.
He's gone, Clem. She just... How could she do that? Oh, Jesus. He's gone.
You didn't have to kill her, Kenny.
I'm sorry, darling, but I did. Go! I'm right behind you.
AJ.
Also, another thing too, Jane could just fucking say the entire time that she was just that AJ is fine,
He's alive.
especially when he has a knife at her fucking throat.
Let me see him.
You'd think at that point she'd be like, okay, like AJ's alive. I'm just trying to make a point.
I thought
And that would get Kenny to back off,
we
but
lost you, buddy. I won't let you out of my sights again.
Then you didn't have to kill her. You didn't have to kill Jane.
It was me or her, Clem. She was trying to kill me, too. If she hadn't lied about Alvin here, it wouldn't have went that
that's
far.
true. To see, yeah, that's another
Why
point.
would she?
Jane was
She
also
nuts,
trying to kill
Clem.
him.
A disturbed person that had her own agenda and was looking out for herself. Shh. It's all right, buddy. Hey, listen, I didn't want that to happen either. I thought she killed Alvy, Clem, and at any point she could have stopped what was happening by saying he was fine. She wanted
I
to
just said that. Holy shit! I literally did just say that.
ever hurt you. You understand? I was protecting you. You believe me, right? Just imagining what she did to Alvy. Everything just went black. By the time I got my head straight, it was too late.
You're dangerous, Kenny.
You're right, Clem. But I'm trying to change. I'm working on it. Something broke inside me a long time ago. I've just been trying to hold it together, but I'm doing my best.
See, it's like Kenny knows
We can do
too.
this, Kenny. We have to.
Thanks for not giving up on me just yet.
Like he admits that's. I mean, it's not enough, but it's still something. A step in the right direction to realize that you are fucking losing your mind. He could have, but would Kenny have listened? He wasn't listening to anything else. I don't know. I feel like Kenny... that's hard. Yeah, I guess he wouldn't really know, because it doesn't happen. But I feel like Kenny would. the same time, though, yeah, it's tough. It's tough to say for sure. But I don't think Kenny was listening because Jane wasn't. I mean, they both. I mean,
You want me to hold him?
Nah, he's still light. We're fine.
Jane wasn't really saying anything other than that she's gonna kill him, fight him,
Hey!
fuck you, don't come near me. And they're both fighting each other.
Come on, Alvy. We got this.
It's possible this was a wake-up call for Kenny, but we'll never know because they never encounter others after
You
this.
cheated.
Holy shit.
I think it is a wake-up call, because what's about to happen, Kenny himself even says in this,
I can't believe we found it.
How do you know?
A giant wall out in the middle of nowhere? Come on. That's gotta be it. What are we waiting for? Come on. This one's gonna be the one. Look at those walls. We'll finally feel safe, Clem. Be able to sleep at night.
That's far enough.
Just stay still, Clem. Do as she says. Put your hands up, Clem.
Drop your weapons. Approach the gate.
Just a couple of people at the front gate. They don't look like trouble. Sounds good. Hi, I'm Edith.
Name's Kenny. And this here's Clementine.
Hello. Oh, what a handsome boy. Look at him. What's his name?
Alvin. Jr.
Oh,
I already
he's
know
gonna
what
be a
happens.
little
Krista isn't
heartbreaker
here.
when he grows up.
Why'd you make us leave our stuff over there? Can't we just bring it in? What?
Well, I'm afraid this is the part where I give you the bad news.
The hell's this?
That's some supplies. Food, water,
What?
some medicine, a first aid
Why are
kit.
you giving us this?
Unfortunately, our community isn't accepting new members. We're over capacity as it is, and there's just not enough to go around if we keep bringing people in. Things might change in
You
a few
gotta be
months.
fucking kidding me.
I'm sorry. I really am.
So we're supposed to just take this and go?
But there's only 2 of us.
I know, dear. But I don't make the rules.
Do you know what we've been through? You have any idea what it took for us to get here? And now you're just gonna turn us away.
Look, I don't mean to be harsh, but a whole lot of other people went through a whole lot of stuff to get here too, and they all got here before you. And don't think you're the first people we've had to turn away. You're not. But that doesn't mean I'm not real sorry to have to do this. If it was up to me,
Just take the kids.
What?
Please. Just take the kids. It's too dangerous out here for them.
Kenny,
It's just a little girl and a baby boy. You can make room for that. You can take back the supplies you gave us if that helps. Please, I need them to be safe. And it's safe in there. I know that.
See, this is where that selflessness comes out from
Ask
Kenny.
someone, please. They won't make it out here. Please.
I'll ask. Just give me a second.
You don't need to look at me like that. This is for the best.
you're just gonna leave us?
If they'll only take you two, then that's how it's gotta be.
We don't even know these people.
It doesn't matter. It's safe here. You two will be safe. That's what's important now.
We can take the children, but just the children. I made the case that
Thank you. Thank you.
Little sus, though. But they'll only take the kids. A little strange.
Listen, this is your chance. For you and this boy. I don't trust myself to keep you two safe. Not anymore. Please, I'm begging you. Please, stay here. Stay here, where it's safe. Where you two will have a chance.
No, no, no! Why are you doing this?
Because it's the only way. For both of you. Now think about Alvy here. Please, Clem, just do as I'm asking. This one last time. You'll meet people. You'll make friends. People better than me. Good people. That don't have to look at you and feel ashamed at what they put you through. Please, Clem, please. Where you won't have to sleep with a gun next to you every night. But you can be a kid for a while.
Kenny definitely,
Okay. Okay, we'll stay.
Good.
We'll stay.
I feel like the Jane thing was a big wake-up call.
Okay.
Because this right here is even like,
He's grown.
he's even admitting.
About his mommy and his daddy and all the people who tried to keep him safe. You tell him, okay?
That they'll do a better job than he will. And,
I got, oh, here. Here. Take this.
oh, the hat.
When he's old enough, you make him wear it. It'll keep the sun out of his eyes. That's important. All right. Good. Keep an eye out for him. Please. Now, you take care of Alvin here. You live a good life, okay? Don't waste this, okay? Now, I'm gonna go before one of us changes their mind. Now, I'm gonna walk away, and I might not look back. Not because I don't want to. I'm real glad to have met you, Clementine.
Ah, I remember this. This is cemented in my brain. Of Kenny walking away. Oh, and he stops. Fuck. It's sad, but honestly, this, in my opinion, feels like the best. Like, because Kenny is dangerous. Well, I don't think Kenny will ever hurt Clementine or AJ. He's dangerous. And honestly, like, they don't have the supplies for any of it. I feel like the Wellington ending is one of the more hopeful endings. Sadly, even the Wellington ending... Wait. Sadly, even the Wellington ending traumatizes Clem because it gives her the feeling that nowhere is safe. Jesus. How do they fuck up this ending in season 3? I only know about the Kenny and Jane one, but now that I think about it, yeah, season 3 has to happen with Clementine in it, so she's yikes. All right, let's go through my choices here. You and 58% of the players protected the baby. You and 66.7% of players did not try to help Luke. What? Oh, okay. It's counting that it's counting the other option, not the part where I didn't break the ice. I was gonna say that seems like a very specific choice. But that's not what it's going off of. Asked to leave with Mike. You and 80% of players didn't ask to leave with Mike. It doesn't fucking matter anyways, as far as I know. I might be wrong about that though, but you and 49% of players didn't shoot Kenny. I feel like a lot of people shot Kenny in the original, even people that really liked Kenny. Fuck, I really liked Kenny and I shot him the first time I played. But if I remember right, I redid the choice right away after I found out that AJ was alive. But realistically, wait, no, okay, so this is the ending that I got in season 2. This was the ending that I got in my original playthrough for season 2 all those years ago. But then when season 3 came out like a year later, I changed it because I was like, there's no way that I would do that. Team Kenny all the way, you know, but after seeing what they did to my boy in season 3, I am not, I can't. This feels like the most hopeful ending. Wellington gets raided and everyone inside is forced to scatter for survival. Clem couldn't even pack and has to grab one item on the run. What the fuck? 74% players shot Kenny on release day. That's how, yeah, I thought I remember it being a pretty high percentage. You know, now that I think about it, the developers even were talking about this in one of their commentaries, that originally everybody that played left Kenny alive because in the original portion of this episode, it was supposed to be, I think it was supposed to be, I forget the way it was set up, but the way they had it set up framed it so that it was more like Jane was the aggressor. And that Jane had the knife at Kenny's throat, and everybody shot Jane in the playtesting. So I think they switched it around. I might be wrong, but it has something to do with Kenny not being the aggressor. And then they switched it around because they're like, holy shit, like we need to change this. So they switched it around to have Kenny be the aggressor because it really pushes you to shoot Kenny. Because the way it's framed is like, are you going to sit by and watch Kenny kill somebody, or are you going to stop Kenny killing somebody, you know? In the end, 21% of players are with AJ at Wellington. All right, that's it. That's season 2. Now I can crack open the can of worms that is the cut content. I won't go through the whole thing because there's a lot. Well, first up, I definitely want to talk about the option with Mike there. There was a choice to shoot Mike. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else. I mean, I've been kind of dropping little bits and pieces here and there of cut content things, but I was trying not to spoil too much. But yeah, in the very original script, Clementine was supposed to freeze to death in that snowstorm with AJ and die. They changed that, which makes sense. There wouldn't be any more Walking Dead if that happened, and it would also be a very dark, very depressing end to this series. Some people try to argue my numbers are off, but I remember spending much time arguing in a thread titled, "Why did 74% of players shoot Kenny?" I think it's fluctuated. It's definitely fluctuated since then, but if I go back and watch my original playthrough, I could do it right now, because I played that episode like not even a week or two after it came out. Let me go look quick here. Go scroll. Back when I was just a little kid. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's right here. Yeah, so what date did I upload this? In August 31st, 2014, I played the original episode 5, and at that time it was 30% of players didn't shoot Kenny. So yeah, it would be pretty close to 70% of players would have shot Kenny, which makes sense. I do remember that being a very high choice a lot of people decided to shoot Kenny. Realistically, though, like, if I'm looking at this without any bias, without anything like that, at an objective point of view, Clementine should shoot Kenny and then leave Jane. Because, fuck 'em, you know? The group is falling apart. And Clementine is the only one that's, like, keeping it together, really. I don't know. I think that might be the best, maybe not the best option, but, like, I don't know. When you get to this episode in this game, it's like, you're just so, like, it's depressing. Depressing season. But, I don't know. I think to give it a little bit of hope in this sad season, the Wellington ending is a little glimmer of hope. The thread started release day, and while it was going on, it would go on for years with old arguments leaving and new ones joining. Arguers. Okay. I guess what I'm going to look up now is I've already shown the different episode scenes here. Already kind of talked about most of the cut content up to this point. The thing that I wanted to talk about was the Mike gunshot scene. Which I thought I saw that option when I played on PC, but now that I think about it, maybe it wasn't in there, but it's definitely on the PS3 version of the game. Just look for it here. Basically, thanks to data miners and people who never updated their PS3 version of the game. Here it is. I think a lot of them don't add in this one part. I'm not even sure if it's I'm not sure if it's voice acting or not, but after you shoot Mike, he drops down and then Bonnie like jumps at him and she's like, "Oh my god, no, no." But I've never seen it with voice acting. I've only ever seen it with subtitles and like janky animation that's been pieced together. But I think I've only seen that in one clip here. Oops.
What's
Probably have this on. My first time I forgave her, the damage was done and Clem would need to help. We need help with the baby. I figured if Jane felt any remorse, we could use it for that. Kind of glad I did forgive her. Alone is the worst ending in my opinion. Yeah, but if I remember right, Season 3, I don't know. Fucking Season 3 fucked up both of the characters. Because Clementine, if she's with Jane, like, offs herself. And that's not even in character for her either. That's, like, very uncharacter, like, it just doesn't make sense for Jane. And then the other one is just Kenny crashes and dies. It's so stupid. It's like they were just trying to find the quickest way to get rid of these characters. Anyways. Yeah. Take a look here. I guess that's another reason why I like this season too. It really has a divide. Alright. This is what I was talking about. A good chunk of people still don't know about this, but pretty interesting. This is cut content that got cut, like, very late. Like I said, it's still in some builds of the game.
Easy. Easy now.
Step back.
Clem.
Just skip ahead.
What are you doing?
We're just leaving. All right, Clem. Now I'm gonna walk up to you nice and slow, and you're gonna give me the gun, okay?
Why are you doing this?
He didn't give us any choice.
Он злой человек.
Just give me the gun, Clem. I'm not gonna hurt you. Easy.
Stay back. I'll shoot.
Here we go.
So yeah, that happens. I think hopefully this one has the yeah, here we go. They have the follow-up of what happened.
Hey, you.
Clem! Oh, thank God.
What happened?
That piece of shit Rusky shot you.
We had to run the truck to keep you warm. How do you feel?
It hurts.
Couldn't find the bullet. Must have gone clean through. It'll burn a while, but you'll be fine.
Those sons of bitches. I mean, I expected it from the Russian. But Mike? I could tell.
Yeah, see, is Mike dead?
I didn't think they'd go
That
that far.
that's obviously not in
Steal our food and shoot a
your
kid.
in the one I played.
You never should have thrown in with trash like that in the first place.
Is Mike dead?
Yeah.
You got nothing to be sorry about, Clem. We were all wrong about him.
Now that Clem's awake, we should talk about where we're going.
We're headed north.
What the
All right. And yeah. Let's see. Let me go back here. Turn this back on. Actually, hold on. Before I do that, let me check this out. There is a YouTube channel. In Cold Blood. Okay. I don't know. I guess I'll type in The Walking Dead. Here we go. This guy's channel right here is a lot of really good cut content for this game. And in Season 2 and all that shit. But I got into his channel a couple years ago. In like 2020, I was like, oh yeah, I remember The Walking Dead. And I saw one of his videos pop up. And I got very interested because I was like, holy shit. A lot of the mystery about Season 2 that I was thinking about like so much and how it felt disjointed. Like, I always kind of felt like something was rushed and... Okay. But yeah, he's got a lot of cool stuff. A lot of cut content for all the seasons. As you can see here, I really like watching him. And yeah. A lot of cut content. A lot of scrapped things. I would definitely highly recommend checking this guy's channel out. He has a lot of stuff. He can put a lot of things together. Better than I can. And he goes very in depth with a lot of the stuff in this season. But yeah, definitely check him out. Because I can't sit here for the next 4 hours talking about cut content. But if you ever get the chance, I definitely recommend it. Let's see what we got in the chat. With Kenny and Jane's endings, they both treat her different. Kenny treats her like a child and tries to shield her from the world. Jane treats her like an adult and tries to teach her independence. There are upsides and downsides to both. Yeah, I think that's what makes this season kind of nice, whereas Season 1 is still really good, really solid, but there is no option of choice at the end. This one gives you multiple options. And, like, there's 3 main ones. Are you with Jane? Are you alone? Are you with Kenny? But then there's variants for all those too. Like, I'm not too sure about alone ending, but Jane has an ending where I think there's like a group of people that come up and ask to come into house hardware, and you can either reject them or bring them back in with you. And obviously the Kenny one is either stay at Wellington or go with him. Honestly, if you like Kenny, just stay at Wellington. It is so much better. Because at least then he's unknown. But he's most likely surviving somewhere else. Instead of the shit that the garbage that is Season 3 and what they do to Kenny. And honestly, the garbage that they do to Jane, too. I'm not even a huge fan of Jane, but good God, they fucked those characters up bad in Season 3. Like, it is so distasteful. Honestly, I think a big reason why people didn't like Season 3, myself included, like, was because of how they handled our choices from this season. It could have been done in a much better way. And, but while saying that, though, I still did enjoy some of the things in Season 3. Season 3 does a really good job at handling determinant characters. Whereas, like, this season, not so much. The season before that, Season 1, I mean, kinda. I think Carly and Doug are, like, the main ones for that, but Season 3 did something really good with determinant characters. It's just, it felt like too little too late, you know what I mean? Like, the way they handled, what was his name? Conrad, I think it was. Should have been how they were handling all the characters for the past couple of seasons. Yeah, the family robs you either way. Nice. The way I see it, Kenny is the guardian she deserves, but Jane is the one she needs. But she lives as a child in a world where you can't be a child. I guess it depends on how you play. I honestly think Clementine, well, not saying that the alone ending is better, but Clementine doesn't, she doesn't necessarily need Kenny or Jane. Honestly, she's probably better off without both of them. In this, like, Clementine, through her lens, through this hypothetical gaming lens of this story, this fictitious story, I would never advocate in an apocalyptic setting to leave a kid alone with a baby, because that's just not good. But Clementine is, I don't know, she's just more mentally aware, and just, she's better than, like, the adults are useless in this fucking game. And, like, she's always the one doing shit. She's always the one trying to change things. Like, Kenny lost his mind. Jane is, like, selfish and has this Darwinism type of mindset. Like, realistically, Clementine is better than both of them. But at the same time, she learns very valuable things from both of them as well, so. But yeah. Let me go into the definitive menu. See if there's any extras we can check out about Season 2. Would it be character viewer? Art gallery. Let's check that one. Season 2. Yeah, let's see if there's any. Okay. I don't know much about whatever that is. Oh, yep. Okay, so this must be art where they were going with the Clementine gets shot instead of the getting bit thing, which is interesting because she still gets shot in the final episode. So it's like they still went with that idea. They just did it later on in the season. Jane, Harville, Matthew, Walter, Reggie. Annie, Sarita, Bonnie, Carver. Pete, Luke, Nick, Carlos, Sarah, Alvin, Rebecca. What the fuck? Oh yeah, that's right. So Nick and Luke, for whatever reason, switched clothing. So like the original concept art, you could see Luke is wearing Nick's clothing and Nick is wearing Luke's clothing. Which is, it's, I don't know. I don't know why they did that. But she needs to learn survivalism, which Jane provides that. What Wellington provides is just safety and nothing else. Yeah, but at the end of the day, though, she's already been doing that for how long in the season? At a certain point, you do have to, like, sit down and, you know, if you have a, I don't want to say, like, if you're handed something that can, if you're handed a really great community that can offer you all these things, it might not be the worst idea to take it and sit back for a little bit and enjoy it before it falls apart. Especially for her, because she's a kid. But at the same time, in the apocalypse, that doesn't really matter. kind of always have to be on your A game. A lone ending provides complete freedom, but there are limits to what you can do alone. That is true. Like, it's tough. The alone ending sounds the most promising, but also, like, you need people. Johnny, Winston, Ralph, Victor, Sam the dog. Sam the dog looks a little worse for wear there. Ralph apparently was supposed to... That's the dude's name, Ralph, yeah. He was supposed to be Mike. Johnny, that's the dude that Kenny shoots that was in Carver's camp. Oh yeah, that's right. I think Johnny was actually supposed to be with these guys in the original script, but then they took Johnny out and put him in Carver's camp, raid the cabin. Or the, not the cabin, the ski lodge. Zombies, backwoods. Oh yeah, there was also a cut fishing mini game where you would collect fish. Cabin exterior. Interior. Kitchen. Bedrooms. Excuse me. Truck stop bathroom. Jeez. What are you sneezing for, buddy? Dusty? Lookout point. Archman station. Cellar. Cellar. Oh, I think this is where you go if you go with Nick. Delivery truck, yeah, that's with Pete. The lodge. Bathroom. I think this is where, well, I think this is assumption at this point for most people, but I think this is where, what's her name? Rebecca was supposed to have her baby. Stop doing that. Don't be nibbling on the wine. Naughty kitty. Yeah, just come up there. I could be wrong about that, though. Probably am. Store. Exterior. Interior. Yard. Store. Trailer park. Trailer park exterior. I'm not really seeing anything too different here. Interior. Station deck. Frozen pond. Open field. Power substation. Snowstorm. Dash house. Dash house interior. Truck. That's it. Okay, wow, that's not anything. Well, I guess that's about it. Again, I could go on and on about the cut content, but I kind of already did the most important ones, at least in my opinion. I really do like Season 2. It's a very flawed season. It is still, till this day, probably my favorite season, just based off how just kind of depressing and hopeless it is. More realistic. But, I mean, I've said this 100 times. It's not because they intended it to be that way. Slightly, yes, but it's mainly because they were just rushing it. They had to. They had to do a lot of rewrites and a lot of shit was scrapped. But then we got A New Frontier, the final season, and the Michonne series. I probably will do the Michonne series first because that's still running on the same type of graphical engine that these three are. Then I'll go to the New Frontier, final season. Michonne series is pretty short. And I really like the antagonist in the Michonne series. I like that. But, yeah. Great season overall, in my opinion. Although there are flaws, I do really like the last couple of episodes, especially the final one where you get to make the choice between Jane or Kenny. Because it can be a pretty tricky choice, depending on how you look at it. And, you know, that's kind of what I always wanted in The Walking Dead, was to have multiple endings and options. Which, now that I think about it, I think it is the only season that has multiple endings. I don't know why the final season didn't. Season 3 doesn't really, I mean, it's hard to say, but Season 3 doesn't really have multiple endings. It just has variants of one ending, depending on how you played the game. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks everybody for tuning on in. Be sure to check out the Twitch if you're on YouTube. If you're on Twitch, check out the YouTube. xAustishx for Twitch, just Austish for YouTube. And yeah, the pop-ups are in the bottom left-hand corner. Be sure to stay tuned on YouTube, especially if you want to watch these again. Re-uploading them as videos on there. And yeah, I'll definitely be playing more of this later on. We've got a little cameo from my cat here on the mic. But yeah, I'll be playing more of this. I'm going to finish this series off. I have to. This series is what made my channel in the very early days when I started it. But yeah, thanks everybody for tuning on in. Appreciate the support. Appreciate all the comments. And I will catch you guys on the next one.